First, that torture has a huge human cost. And we don't hear about that when the academics and the pundits and the politicians and the lawyers are deciding what torture is. We don't hear about the suffering because very few of them have ever sat down with someone who's been tortured and talked to them and found out from them what is torture and what are the long-term effects. In this country, we've been largely protected from that. Because I was involved with human rights work in Guatemala, I know a lot of people who were tortured who will say even having a blindfold on has done them damage. And psychological torture is more devastating long-term than physical torture. So I wanted to show the actual human cost of torture and have people understand that. And secondly, one of the points of the play is that we aren't helpless. I think that one of the methods torturers use is learned helplessness. They try to convince the detainee that nothing they say is going to make a difference. Nothing they do is going to make a difference. They're at the mercy of their interrogator. And I think as the US public, we have a certain amount of learned helplessness as well. And we feel that we're forced to go along with things, like when our government's engaging in torture. And for example, in my work with Guatemala, the program of our government's involvement in Guatemala was all covert. And we were assassinating civilians, funding the assassination of civilians there, but that was covert. This is something that we all know about. It's been documented. We're engaging in torture. And so part of the message of my play is, my play asks people to really examine whether you're helpless in a situation where you feel like you're helpless. Like the psychologist becomes convinced that she's helpless to do anything, but she really isn't. And those are two of the most important things I'd like people to take away from the play.